Good morning, City of Pittsburgh, and welcome to the June standing meeting for the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. My name is Lori Beth Jones. My pronouns are she, hers, and I am the co-chair of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission at this time. Thank you all for coming. We do have a quorum of commission members who will be introducing themselves right now, starting with my co-chair and really the person who does all the things, Christopher Mitchell, as always.
Thank you, Lori. My name is Chris Mitchell. I'm the anti-litter specialist for the City of Pittsburgh Department of Public Works, and I will turn it over to Amiye, who I saw just joined.
Hi, how are you guys doing? My name is Amiye Akweli. I'm a recycling specialist slash environmental enforcement specialist with the City of Pittsburgh, DPW. I will pass it along to Josh.
Good morning. My name is Joshua Schuneman. I'm the Collection Events Manager at Pennsylvania Resources Council. I oversee the programs in working in partnership with the City of Pittsburgh to provide services for electronics and hazardous waste material, and also in coordination with Allegheny County as well for those similar services. And I will pass it over to Myrna.
Good morning. I'm Myrna Newman, Executive Director of Allegheny Cleanways. She, her pronouns. I'm from the neighborhood of Polish Hill, and Allegheny Cleanways cleans up litter and illegal dumping in Allegheny County. And I will pass it to Erica.
Morning, everyone. My name is Erica Young. I'm Public Affairs Manager for Waste Management here in Western Pennsylvania and cover West Virginia. I'm also Secretary of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. I'm happy to be here today. I will pass it over to Afton.
Hi, my name is Afton Giles. I'm the Principal Sustainability and Resilience Planner for the City of Pittsburgh. I do a lot of things for the city, including helping to come up with waste management strategies. And I'm working with trying to figure out a zero waste solution for the City of Pittsburgh. And I'm a little late, so I'm not sure who hasn't joined. So anybody who hasn't gone yet, please jump in.
Hi, my name is Sanjeet Manadar. I'm an Environmental Sustainability Manager with Pittsburgh Public Schools. Same thing here. I'm not certain who else. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No worries. Hi, my name is Giselle. I'm with the Mayor's Office. I'm a community liaison on the Neighborhood Services team, and I'm here as a representative.
I think, did we hear from Aaron? Am I keeping good track or bad track? I think
no.
Okay.
I was late. Thanks, Lori Beth. Aaron Tobin here. I work at the Pittsburgh Parks Conservancy and I live in Spring Hill on the north side. I believe I'm the District 1 rep. Anybody else not go?
I think we got everybody. Good job. Hey, a wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. So thank you all. Hi, I'm here to say dumb things. Thank you so much for coming to our meeting. I think now I'll say a smart thing. It is, oh, I'm supposed to show you the agenda. Whoopsie daisies. Which I don't have open on this computer. It's some other computer. Good job, me. There we go. Usually I have that all ready to go. All right, and while you eyeball that, we will super multitask, and I will read from our bylaws, part of the mission of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission, as we like to do at every meeting, so that we can remember why we're all here. The mission of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission is to act as the primary resource for addressing quality of life issues in Pittsburgh's communities through waste and recycling education, community cleanups, beautification and ordinance enforcement, to coordinate communication, to empower community organizations to maintain and improve neighborhood environments, to maintain strong communication with city departments and officials for support in addressing neighborhood problems, to facilitate collaboration between community groups, residents, and city government to reach the most effective solutions to neighborhood problems within the commission's scope, to coordinate work with local volunteer organizations and groups to support neighborhood cleanups, to use funds to address neighborhood problems on a citywide basis, and to work cooperatively towards the goal of zero waste in Pittsburgh. Ooh, snaps. Thank you so much. Also, the agenda, is anyone, has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda that is on my screen share? And is there anything to add, delete, multiply, etc.? And if someone would like to make a motion to approve the agenda before we move forward.
I'll motion.
This is
Thank you.
Erica, I'll second.
Thanks, everyone. All right. That means, Erica, you might as well, if you want to go ahead, I will stop my share. If you want to keep the floor, if you have any minutes for us to review from previous meetings.
Thank you. I think, so I was not at the May meeting. I apologize. I will have to go through and record the minutes from the recording. Let me see what here, did we approve? Here are the April meeting minutes. Hold on, let me just figure out how to screen share. I'm so sorry. I don't typically use Zoom. So this is just all kind of, I think this is it. Can we see this? Good. Are you guys seeing the screen?
Not yet, no.
Oh, wait, hold on. I actually have to hit share. There we go. We'll get there.
You can see it now.
Perfect. So these are from the April 13th, 2023 meeting. We do need to, it looks like, have the March 9th meeting minutes corrected from the attendance. We had an attendance issue, so I will pull those up after we go through this. Please just let me know if I'm scrolling too fast here.
Do we want to say Hill District neighborhood focus, because Hilltop is like kind of the backside of Mount Washington, Arlington area? That's the name of their CDC up there.
Sorry, that was my bad. I think that's appropriate to change. Yep. And that is the end of the April minutes.
I'm happy to make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Perfect. Thank you. I will, hold on, let me just record that. And then I pull up the March minutes. So here. Okay, and these are the March meeting minutes. We did not approve them at the April meeting because I recorded the attendance was not updated from the last meeting that I had recorded. So this has been updated. These were updated after the April meeting and is appropriate for the March meeting. So, not sure if anybody can remember a few months ago if you were there or not, but we have that. So I guess motion to approve the March 9th, 2023 meeting minutes.
Have you seen these before? Or you say you
We-
mean edit to them, right?
Yeah, we
Okay.
reviewed the minutes. I didn't, the attendance, the members in attendance,
Okay,
I had
okay.
it updated from like the February meeting, I think it was, so.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, there are a couple of names on there that I'm curious if they are, I mean, Erica Ninos is definitely, but I don't know if she, well, yeah, okay, it's good and from my perspective, but even from the last, the April minutes, there were a couple of names that were still lingering on there, but, and I should have brought that up. I'm so absent-minded today, I apologize. But other than that,
And while we're bringing that up, let me just pull up the April minutes because I'd like to make sure I do have a correct list of the commissioner members, so we're recording them appropriately. I'm going to stop this share and bring up April minutes here.
How does that work as far as official, like do people, do we have to wait until people are like officially off of the commission, just like we have to wait for people to officially be on the commission? Just curious, more than anything else. Because like, are they, is Erica still a commission member, for example, or does she have to officially, something officially has to happen with that?
I
Like,
don't know. I do know that she told us that she had resigned from the commission. So I don't know if there's forms or something that we need to do to make that official. And that's something we probably need to have a little bit more clear a standard on.
And I think same with Kelly, with Sanjeev, I think that would be like a switch, right? So I could remove Kelly from there.
Mhm.
Perfect, okay.
Yes.
While these are up, I'm just going to make this move since Sanjeev was approved at the April meeting anyway. And I will leave Erica on there just until we find out the appropriate method for removing or keeping.
and I think Rachel too would be taken off. I would actually kind of realized that I think my confirmation was in about this time of year in 2019. So then I'm like, oh wait, do I need to be doing something as well?
Yeah, I think Natisha, Rachel, Erica, Sally. I think those are all, I don't know. Yeah, I think those are all questionable. Yeah, I think they've officially resigned, but whether or not they are, yeah, still commission members, that's a good way to handle it.
I guess since we have the official resignation, is it appropriate to at least remove them from the meeting minutes?
I think so.
And Josh, what about Emily? Right, is
I'm-
Emily Emily's grounded, never mind, right? Never mind.
Well, no, were you asking about Emily Potosny?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Emily
Sorry.
Potosny had at least been a temporary member on the CPC for a year or
Right.
so. And actually, I was just checking in with Sarah Alessio Shea to see if she had been officially named or not, and neither of us could recall. But Emily Potosny is no longer with Pennsylvania Resources Council, so
I thought.
if she was an official member, that's no longer applicable, which is the reason that you see my smiling face this morning.
And just to confirm, Josh, we are still waiting on your official approval or official membership status. Is that correct? I think from this meeting, we were still waiting on that.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Yesterday, I did receive an email from someone at the city whose name escapes me at the moment, saying that they had received my submission and that they would be working towards approval and be contacting me in the future for possible interviews or possibly not, but it's finally moving forward. So
Great. So I guess it's appropriate to still keep you in the guest area for this moment, just,
I think
But-
so, yeah.
okay. Cool. Okay, so I updated the April minutes to reflect that, those changes. Chris and Lori Beth, I'll send these out to you just so we have the updated ones for posting on the website, along with March as well. We just still need a motion to approve March minutes, and I can remove those same people off there. Hold on, let me just pull up March here. Share. Okay, we'll take Natisha, Rachel, Kelly and Erica off here. Emily. Save that. Oops, wait, gotta hit share. There we go. Here's March again. So those have been removed. Just need a motion to approve the March minutes.
Motion to approve.
Chris,
Second, Lori Beth.
perfect. All in favor? Any opposed? March minutes are approved. And since I was absent from the May minute meeting, I will review that meeting and have notes to send out with today's meeting. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Good work, everyone. We're moving right along to the follow-up from Aaron Tobin regarding the cleanup in the end of May that they have with UPMC in the Hill District.
Thank you, Lori Beth. So we had a wonderful day. I believe it was May 20th. UPMC sponsored the event. We had Allegheny Cleanways, Grounded, the Pittsburgh Parks Conservancy, and then Chris, Giselle, Alicia, Omo got us breakfast. So thank you for that. And we had a really nice day in the Hill District. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 different sites over the course of the day. 3 grounded sites. Allegheny Cleanways met up at Macedonia and walked back down to Kennard Park, which is where we were based for the day. We went down to Chumley Plaza for lunch, and then when we went back to Kennard Park to do a litter picking there, and then we walked down to Martin Luther King Community Garden, which is just down Kirkpatrick from Kennard Park in the Hill District. And it was a really successful day. It wouldn't have been possible without the partnership between the different organizations and all the support we got from the city. So thank you to everybody that participated. And I'm just waiting for the check from UPMC to come through, and I think I need to get the invoices from Grounded and Allegheny Cleanways as well, so I can get you guys paid for that day. The other nice piece of this is we got a lot of supplies out of this event. I was able to replenish our litter picking supplies, which was awesome, because I don't know if this happens with the other organizations, but we lose people walk home with their litter pickers or something. I don't know, but we're always we never have the same number of them at the end of each event that we do. So was really glad to be able to replenish those with the funding from UPMC. And they did say that they would love to partner with us again. So hoping to do another cleanup with them in the fall. And I will keep everybody posted about that. when I have more information. So thank you so much, everybody's support coming together. It was like a 1 month turnaround. So I really appreciate Chris for jumping into it with me. So thanks, everybody.
Yeah, Aaron was incredible in organizing this. It was a mad dash. Everybody had a lot going on, and thank you so much, Aaron, for that work. Yeah, thank you.
Good job. Thank you. That was the fastest review. So that means we're up next. We have Myrna to tell us about stair stewardship. Thank you, Myrna.
Sure. Just to give you some background, Allegheny Cleanways has started a program a couple of years ago doing cleanup of litter along the bridge sidewalks and some of the stairways, realizing that no one is really officially maintaining those around with litter. A lot of community groups do occasionally, but no one officially was. So we started a program to do that, and one of the things we realized pretty quickly is that ongoing stewardship was critical because of vegetation, if nothing else, but litter also accumulates. I mean, it's just constant. So we've got some funding to do a pilot program in the north side, and we have 5 stairs that we're going to clean up, and then work with the community group to identify stewards, provide all of the supplies that they'll need, and then train them and help them and communicate with them regularly so that the ongoing stewardship can happen. And then when they're done, the one problem with volunteer stewardship is that people get burnout, people leave, their lives go on. And so we're hoping that by partnering with a community group, when that person is no longer able to, or those people are no longer able to be stewards, we'll be in communication with them and we'll be able to help find other people, so that the stewardship can maintain, even though people may be, individuals may be done. So, or at the very least, the other option is that we at least remove all of the pieces of the stewardship. So one, the supplies or whatever, and pass that on to maybe another group that might be interested. So what I'm proposing is that we do this for the Hill District as well through the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. And so I'm proposing that we, as the Clean Pittsburgh Commission, buy a set of supplies. And the supplies are things like trash cans, trash bags, gloves, grabbers, brooms, loppers, pruners, things that you might need to keep those steps tidy, as well as signage to say that this is being maintained by community group X, and here's some information about them. And then some money that I think what I'm proposing is that Allegheny Cleanways could be a pass-through organization, so that we could then provide kind of love your stairs grants to folks, stair stewardship money, so that if a community group applies for funding, they might get $1,000 up to $2,000 depending on their needs, to up $1,000 that they can use for maintaining those stairs. And that can go to the stewards that are doing it, so that they are getting paid, because we get paid. Why shouldn't they? Environmental services gets paid. Why shouldn't volunteers? So that's my proposal. Did I capture that correctly, Chris? And
Yeah.
Afton, who were on that call yesterday?
Yeah. So we had talked about this, how we wanted to spend our funds for this year, since Allegheny Cleanways and a couple other organizations were already instrumental in bringing together this stairs program, which stairs often comes up when we're talking about a lot of these other problems. It is kind of one of those things where all those different problems just come into one place and people really notice it when stairs become unusable. So I think this would also be a really great introduction, because we really have not reached out to the Hill District much since we have chose to go this direction this year, because even though we're halfway through the year, it feels like we barely started, right? So I think being able to introduce the Clean Pittsburgh Commission to the Hill District as your neighborhood of focus, here's the first thing we want to bring to you, and here's the supplies and the training right up front, and then continue that conversation with them afterwards of what else they'd like to see out of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. But it just helps to have that foot forward, an actual plan. So I really liked Myrna's proposal here. Does anybody else have any questions about what stair stewardship would look like? All right, Myrna, do you have a budget you can share with us for this yet? Or do we want to work that on one of our financial meetings and bring it to everybody for a vote next month?
Yeah, I mean, I have a rough budget. The supplies I estimate for, well, what we estimated for 5 stairs would be that supplies would end up costing about $3,000. So yeah, the budget that I would suggest is $3,000 for supplies. And I think we talked about that might be easiest for the Clean Pittsburgh Commission to just purchase those rather than that go through us, but we can do it either way. And then I would suggest about maybe $5,000, I don't know, about $5,000 that could go as grants. Sorry, I'm not saying this properly. $5,000 to Allegheny Cleanways, I guess, is how you'd have to do it. And then we would be the rent, it would be pass-through funds. We would rent out up to 5 grants to community groups for stewardship at $1,000 each. So total of about $8,000 is what I'm proposing.
Did we already have the stairways in the Hill District that we wanted to target?
Are you asking me, or have you talked about this before?
No, I'm asking you. I can't remember.
I do not have those names on the top of my head. I know that our staff has already worked in the Hill District quite a bit on stairs. I know that Erica was just out with Scenic Pittsburgh yesterday with, on the Diaz Colwell stairs. You know, so they go from Lombard down to Colwell. So I think that's a likely spot. Derod, I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know, but the steps that go from Diaz on the other side of Diaz down to Derod Street. That's how you pronounce that word, that name. That's another set. Those are beautiful steps, just by the way, with an amazing view. Those are 2 right off the top of my head. There are other steps that nearby there that go actually down to the park that we were working in the other day. Maybe Aaron knows a little more about those. I think there are some, I was thinking there was another park, Aaron, that might have some steps, but I'm not sure about that. But yeah, but there are plenty of steps in the Hill District. There are some actually up on I'm not sure what that community is called other than Sugar Hill. What's the
Sugar Top?
Sugar Top, yeah. I don't know what the actual city name of that community is. Is that
Upper
Middle
Hill.
Hill? Upper Hill?
Yeah.
Hill. Yeah, there are several up there as well that need some tending. But my guess is we could find at least one in every neighborhood in the Hill District. But honestly, I think, I would propose that maybe we don't target the stairs, but we put it out to the communities for them to decide which are the stairs that they use the most or that they would want to see cleaned up, maintained.
So I have a question. So when you're saying $1,000, is it $1,000 per stair or $1,000 as per group who wants to clean up stairs?
I think it could be either, probably depending on the stairs and the need. I think that there are some stairs that might need $1,000 worth of tending. The steps that I mentioned, for instance, from Diaz down to Durod, those are, I think they're used a lot, or they used to be used a lot. They're constantly overgrown with vegetation, and they're constantly litter there that accumulates. So I could see, and they're very, very long. So I could see like that set of steps might require multiple visits and might be more of $1,000 steps, but then there are others that would not be. So maybe that's a case by case.
Yeah, I think now I'd be comfortable with saying we can probably dedicate up to $8,000 towards this stair project. And as we move forward, we'll have some more concrete numbers of who's participating, how much they need for the various needs of each staircase and each organization. I'd be comfortable with voting on that, just so it's in the budget and we know exactly how much we can spend outside of it.
Yeah, and I think maybe what we could decide here today, or I don't know if this is the right forum actually, but we're just presenting this idea. So we have absolutely not created a grant proposal or anything like that for folks. But I'm wondering if actually that should come through the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. That it's a proposal that they submit to the Clean Pittsburgh Commission, and then as a committee, we decide which ones get funded, but we're just the pass-through organization. Would that be the best way to handle that? Afton, I don't know, or Chris, I'm not sure which of you would be the best to answer that question.
I think that sounds fair. It gives us a sort of a democratic way of making sure that, the resources that we're providing are reaching the right people. And it also helps us with the self-selection so that we're not picking, we're just not picking things with, that people aren't going to be able to use the funding for, basically, or aren't going to be able to have the stewards available in order to, actually carry out the project. So I think that's sort of a good way. I think the other part of it's going to have to be, though, that we're going to have to do a pretty good outreach push then, to make sure that we're, people know about it and know that they can ask for this resource.
Yeah, that'll be critical. And that might, yeah, sorry to be thinking through this now in this public forum, but that might be where, and I don't want to offer up Grounded's staff, but maybe that's a grant that Grounded and or Allegheny Cleanways could get from the Clean Pittsburgh Commission, or some funding that they could get to do some of that outreach. Grounded already has so many stewards there.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a really good connection.
Mm-hmm.
But if additional outreach, and that all takes time and money. So I wouldn't want anyone on the commission to have to do that without being paid to do it. that sounds very crass, but I think you know what I mean. Like that, you're right, Afton. I think that there will be a lot of meetings and so forth. Like, I think we need to start going to community meetings and being present, and it can't just be an announcement or an email. I think there needs to be ongoing presence from people from the commission. And that is what I'm saying, that's time and money, and they should probably be compensated as well, whoever does that.
So you said 8,000 initially. I haven't actually, and I do want to mention that I need to go to another meeting soon. So I don't know if this is a good time to talk about the budget, but are we asking for, or on the floor, is it a motion for $8,000 for this project or $10,000 for this project? I don't know. We talked about potentially earmarking some funds, and I don't know if we're going to be voting on it today or just putting a note about it today.
I don't know what's in the budget, but I think we talked yesterday about maybe up to $10,000 was available. So I would say maybe that we vote, if we're going to vote today, vote on $10,000 going to be earmarked for, this is my proposal. $10,000 should be earmarked for the STEP stewardship program. A portion of that, I estimate about $3,000 would be used for buying supplies for it. An estimate of about $5,000 might be used toward paying community groups to do some of the stewardship work. And then another couple $1,000s would be available for Grounded or Cleanways or city or workers or PRC, whoever, Aaron, PPC, to do some of the recruiting or getting the word out. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, I'd say so. And let's go ahead while it'll be a separate thing. So let's do that vote, and then let's also set up kind of a subcommittee to make sure we're moving forward on this and everybody's on the same page and everybody who wants to participate can, because that's what we like to do with our biggest projects. So do we want to go ahead and bring up that vote for 10,000 right now?
And sure, just a point. Right now we have about $21,774 of money to play with. So if we spend that 10,000, we'll be down to about $11,774.50.
Excellent.
That helps anybody.
After, did you say we have $21,774? Is that what you said?
Yes,
Okay.
right now. I can show it as well if you want me to share my screen. But right now, here, hold on one second. I'll just share. Okay, so right now we have $21,774.50. And that is accounting for city surveillance. We don't have anything for literati yet, and I know literati can be pretty pricey. Allegheny Cleanways and PRC, these are some last year expensive that we're still working on trying to get paid. Litter League, we have earmarked $2,000 for, and Garbage Olympics, we have earmarked $2,000 for. So that's what's already accounted for, and that's $21,000 of unspent. Just go back to this so you can see that. Okay.
So shall we vote?
Yeah. Somebody has to make a motion.
I'll make the motion. I don't know how to make a
Second it.
motion. Did I do that right?
No, it goes, I move, and then
I
you
move.
explain what the motion is. I move that we do blah, 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 blah.
I
And then
move
somebody
that we
says
give sidewalk stewards $10,000.
Anybody want a second?
Just a point of clarification, it's stairway or
Sorry,
steps.
stairway stewardship.
Okay.
Seconded.
It's been moved in second, so now we want to have a vote.
All approve? Raise your hand.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, passes.
Okay.
And we'll have further updates probably with every meeting going forward, just to say where we're at on this. And we'll set up that, Myrna, can you take the lead on setting up a subcommittee with all the groups who may want to be participating on it?
Sure.
I would
Um,
also like to say that I'd be interested in joining a subcommittee for the stairways as well, if I'm able to.
Great, thank you.
I know Afton, you said you need to go. I don't want to cut anybody off, but I think that was also a pretty good review of Finance Committee, unless you want to have last call for Finance Committee before you skedaddle.
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me see. Does that mean it's time for member organization updates? Are we good?
I think,
Afton?
no, I think that maybe, and I'm sorry, this should have been said at the beginning when you were asking for approval of the agenda, but wasn't there something that, didn't Kelsey want to get the Litter League amount approved? It was just in the budget, but it did say has not been approved by the commission yet. And she had asked yesterday at the budget meeting to have that approved as well.
Oh, we can do that. That could be part of the finance, yeah. Motion to approve funding for the Litter League.
How much was it again?
2,000. And
A motion to
it
approve.
was, yeah, it was for a mix of supplies. If anyone wants to see or hear that, I can pass that on to you.
Sounds good to me.
Is that a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Are there any opposed? None opposed.
I think. Motion carried. So we can mark that, well, we can do it, or we can shoot an email to Sarah and Afton that was approved. So, okay. I think I probably have edit privileges on that. I'll just write it down. Now it's member organization updates o'clock.
I'll start since I'm already ready, because I actually have a question too. I have, I'm sorry, is it Giselle? Giselle?
Yeah, it's Giselle.
Giselle, and you're at the mayor's office, is that right?
Yes, that's me.
All right, so for the stairs committee, I have Giselle. Aaron, can I put you down as a representative from the Pittsburgh Parks Conservancy?
Sure.
Okay. And then I'm someone from Grounded. I'll reach out, see if someone Grounded can be there. I don't see anyone here on the call, but is there anyone else wanting to be on that committee? I don't know, Chris or Omoye, anyone from the city other than Giselle.
I'll offer up. I'll be on there.
Okay. Great, thank you. And then Allegheny Clean Waste updates. The big thing this week is our 20th anniversary of the Tireless Project, and the christening of our new John boat will be happening at Duck Hollow this Friday at 4 o'clock. And following that will be a big cleanup along Duck Hollow that everyone is invited to. The christening will be fairly short half hour or so. And then there'll be rides on the boat afterwards. And Cinderland's Beer will be re-releasing our Clean Ways beer on Friday. And yeah, there'll just be lots of activity, fairly low key 20th celebration, 20th anniversary celebration, but a chance to see our new John boat in action. And if you don't know what a John boat is, all the more reason to come out and check it out. That's the big thing. We also have ongoing, obviously, dump buster cleanups all the time, every day, except Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and stairway cleanups happening. Thank you.
I guess I'll hop in a little bit with environmental services. We have resumed blue bin distribution. We are on our last final phase. Oh my goodness, fifth and final phase. And that is in our western neighborhoods and our north side neighborhoods. So if you guys happen to live in the area, keep your eye out. You kind of hear them coming if you're working from home. It's like plunk, plunk, plunk. They're coming down the street. And we anticipate that'll be like 2 weeks and we'll be pretty much done. But we have some cleanup. That's exciting. But yeah, blue bins are being distributed, working with PRC. I'm sure if I miss anything, Josh, you can, round this up, but we have our next neighborhood collection and it's going to be in the Hill District, June 24th, at a church, which I have here. It's going to be at the Central Baptist Church parking lot at 2211 Mahone Street. Wow. Okay. From 9 to 1. So there you can register online at PRC's website, prc.org/Pittsburgh Recycling, right? Or PGH.
Recycle PGH, prc.com/recycle PGH. And you can also get to that registration page through the environmental services website as well. So we have so many options to get connected for this great recycling event to continue the great work that was already done in the Hill District this past month.
Awesome. And then also PRC has working with them. We have our next HHW collection is going to be in July 15th. I was just emailing with Severin, who's helping us run that collection. There's about 9 spaces left. Oh, get them while they're hot. So that is happening again July 15th. So registration is open. Same link. Go to environmental services. Go to PRC. Get your HHW disposed of. And also we do have our still twice weekly collections at environmental services. I know that sometimes it's not always, I don't know, when I leave, they're not popping off in the way that I hope, but there's still availability for people to bring down e-waste twice a week at environmental services in the Strip District. So yay. That's it from me.
Well, if it's okay with everybody else, I think it just makes sense for me to hop on after I already interrupted Omo. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, the weekday e-waste collection services are available pretty regularly. And with our registration set up the way it is, you can register for a slot at the current time you need it. So as long as we're down there, you could even sign up in the parking lot and come down. And we do ask folks to register just because it allows you to stay informed about what you can and can't bring and what the associated costs are. And then in addition to our HHW next month, our household hazardous waste collection here in the city, if you are not quick enough to get one of those 9 remaining spots, you can sign up with PRC for our countywide collections as well that we work with Allegheny County to hold. All Allegheny County residents are eligible to come to those as well. And all City of Pittsburgh residents are de facto county residents. So we would love to see you there as well. Also at our hard to recycle collections. Additionally, we also have ongoing education webinars and in-person education classes for rain barrels and for composting, stuff that you can do in your home to make big changes in your everyday life. And then I want to send a special shout out to our zero waste crew that has been down at the Three Rivers Arts Fest for the better part of a week now, I think, and continuing through the coming weekend. And knock on wood, there hasn't been the usual big rainstorms that we historically get, but there are a few days left. So sorry for everyone I just jinxed.
We need rain. Anybody else? Member organization updates? No, I don't see anyone raising their hand. So we'll just let it be awkward. Well,
I
That's
think
the
that
end
means we're wrapped up.
that's the end of the agenda, folks. That means.
Wait, I have a quick question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh, sorry. Yes, we do have 3 minutes left in this hour. Are we going to have any more guest speakers coming through? I know that was a thing for a while. Just curious, or even I remember looking at the minutes that we were shown earlier that, you know, members were speaking about their organization as well. But, you know, it's kind of fluff, you know, help fluff up our meetings a little bit with more conversation.
Yeah, I'd love to have more guest speakers. Alicia was really great at getting those, and I'm the poor man's Alicia on that front. So if anybody has any guest speakers who'd love to come talk to us about any of this stuff, or would I would like to get back onto who we are so that more people know about each organization, that'd be great. I'll go ahead and get somebody else to one of our other organizations to do next month. While we're here, I'll just look at Josh. You want to tell us next month more about PRC? We'll get you nailed down to the July meeting.
Well, actually, what week is that? Because I am on a vacation that month, so I don't want to commit myself. Although I could happily commit Sarah to do it in my absence. I'm happy to volunteer for once. Yeah, I will not be here. I will be on a beach, not answering anybody's phone calls or emails. So heads up. And then also de facto, our Parks Conservancy District 1 rep will also not be here. We do vacation together. But I will speak with Sarah and see if she might be available to speak about PRC at next month's meeting.
I see Erica with her hand up.
If interested, we are getting ready to do some major upgrades to our recycling facility here in Pittsburgh. I'd love to pitch the opportunity of bringing on our Director of Sustainable Growth to talk a little bit more about the upgrades and share what that means for our facility here over the next coming months.
Yeah, that'd be huge. We'll go ahead and say you're able to do that July 13th.
Yeah, let me double check with him, and I will follow back up with you, Chris.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
And thank you, Avier, for bringing that up.
Yeah, I have two suggestions too. One is Erica, man, it'd be really cool if there's some way that the tours that we got at Waste Management, both at the recycling facility and at the landfill. And I know that some of you have done some at the city's recycling MRF.
Recycle source.
Recycle source as well. If there's some way to make that even more public, like if the Clean Pittsburgh Commission could go on a field trip to one of those things and do a little video, I don't know. I don't know how that could work or if that's even legal or any of that stuff, but that would be really cool because I think the more people that are able to see that, the better. Go ahead, Omaya. You look like you were.
I did have my hand up, my actual real hand.
Yeah.
So next week we are filming a segment with Yinzer Backstage Pass on Wednesday. So that's like, you know, it's kind of a little snippet of, won't be the full thing. Well, we'll know. We don't know. Actually, we'll see how it goes. But that will be, public exposure of Recycle Source, but we do hope because they just got installed a couple of new optical sensors and they had to kind of reconfigure things a little bit. So we're hoping to, with that, we can get back in or try to get them into more public options for people, like not completely public just yet, but just ease them in by bringing in stuff, people like the commission and stuff like that. So we'll talk with them about that and see what we can figure out.
Very cool.
Myrna, to follow up with your request, we
Yes.
we were going to stop tours at the end of June just because the construction is supposed to begin in July. I think we did back up a little bit due to some delays in some of the equipment. If the CPC is interested in getting in for a tour before our July 13th meeting, we could probably make that happen if anyone's interested. Just let me know. And for a landfill tour, Myrna, as you know, most of our sites we would need a vehicle to be able to carry all of us through the landfill, but we could probably set something up at Monroeville. If we did not have a vehicle accessible, our landfill in Irwin Valley landfill is where we're working at, where our working face is visible from our parking lot. So we could see all of the operations from foot. That is also a wildlife habitat certified site. We have a really cool bee project there that's happening right now. So if we'd be interested in maybe seeing that and planting some flowers or seeing the landfill or making a trip out of it, we could definitely get something on the schedule for that.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I would love that. I just think it's really eye-opening to go to both places. And the more people that can get there, the better. And if the Clean Pittsburgh Commission has not done that as a commission, I think we should. And then the other suggestion that I had is totally lost to me because all of that good conversation that happens. So, oh, I know, I remember now. And I've brought this up to Chris before, but if there's a chance to have another representative from whatever department it is that is working with unhoused folks, that would be really helpful. Again, just to see like what changes are taking place, how the organizations that are dealing with this on a regular basis, how we can connect. I've reached out to that department and have not heard back. So I would really love to have some insight. Thanks.
Giselle, would you be able to take on seeing if you can find a representative to join us from the Office of Community Health and Safety so that we could learn more about what we can do on this issue?
Yeah, no, happy to do that. I was already thinking about that. I do know that there are some structural changes going on currently in the Office of Community Health and Safety. So I'm not sure who that person might be, but I'm happy to send some emails and I'll follow up with you sometime next week.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay. More things to throw in at the end. Chris and I emailed about this like 2 months ago, and then I didn't follow up. Big surprise. So in my draft copy of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission bylaws, there's a section regarding our meeting schedule. And in the PDF copy that's published on our website, there's a heading for meeting schedule, but no information in that section. So it looks like it may have gotten eaten. I don't think it was struck. I think it just got eaten by, maybe some formatting issues. And previously we had not held meetings in July and December. And that had come up for me a couple months ago because I knew I also had a conflict for the July meeting. And probably I should have led with that at the beginning of the June meeting, but I didn't. So now here we are at the end, talking about, are we going to schedule a field trip next month in lieu of a meeting, or unclear. Not to throw that out right at the tail end of everything.
Yeah, why don't we have a conversation? Yeah, I totally forgot. Usually there's something that coincides with our yearly meeting with the mayor that we don't have our scheduled meeting. I think last year it got thrown out of whack because we weren't able to get in with him very quickly, and that kept getting put off. Is that why we normally don't have the July meeting? That's the scheduled mayor's meeting, kind of?
Sort of.
Yeah. Yeah. We will reach out to, well, let's discuss this a little bit more and make a decision, and we'll reach out to everybody through the email list and determine whether we're having a July meeting or not, and what else we need to do. If that's the
yeah,
the
picnic, right?
Well, I have, Alicia's my office mate, so been getting little tidbits from her. So apparently it's just because people have been out on vacation, that's why we never really had the July meeting. So do with that what you will. Yeah.
Should we make a decision before we close out today?
We have to let City Channel know probably somewhat soon. Sorry, Giselle.
Oh, absolutely no worries. I would just vote maybe not, just simply because I know that so many people are going to be on vacations and I'd rather have a productive meeting. I also know that I'm moving around that time, so I might be taking a couple days off myself. So take that with what you will. I vote, maybe having one in August.
You know
Yeah,
what?
maybe
That
we just
sounds
have
great.
the trip to waste management instead, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Group field trip.
Chris,
Do we have
do
to
you want
vote?
me?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, hold on. I also was looking at my calendar and have a conflict for the 13th in July, but
Mhm.
I can send you some days, Chris, that we can coordinate a potential tour of the facility. Just to confirm, what facility are we interested in doing first? We doing landfill, we doing recycling? What do you guys want to do first?
Bees.
The bees?
Whatever everyone wants to do. That's my ranked choice, top choice.
I think recycling first, right? Because, there's a chance that we might not get to see it for a while due to construction. So that facility should take priority.
How about I will provide the dates of any time the week of the 26th, with the exception of the 29th. I don't know what day of the week works best for everyone, but there's that information.
Yeah. Send that out to the full group, and we'll determine what works best for everyone. Maybe a scheduling poll.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, are we ready to adjourn?
Ooh, I motion to adjourn. I love saying it. It's so fancy.
I'll second that motion.
Wonderful.
All in favor, wave your hands goodbye.
Bye.